Hey everybody, Red Wizard. Today we're going to learn about one of the most influential collage artists of all time, Romare Bearden. Now, I'm also going to show you how to create a collage just like him, but I have a surprise. I created a totally free 5-page collage kit, totally filled with images completely influenced by Romare Bearden. Now, before we get started, if you want, you could download this kit and print it at home totally free. I'll put the link in my bio. You don't need this. You could use your own magazines and stuff like that, but I think this is pretty cool. And let's get started. Before we talk about Romare Bearden, we have to talk about what collage is. Collage is both the process and the finished product of a type of art making, which is made by gluing together pieces of magazine, newspapers, and other paper ephemera. Why is this significant for Romare Bearden during his time? What we have to understand is a long time ago, if you wanted to order a pair of pants, you wanted to know what the news was, you wanted to find out the latest gossip about the celebrities, you had to find this out on newspapers and magazines, which were paper products. So these things were everywhere. They're not everywhere anymore, right? It's important to understand we live in a time that's post-magazine, post-newspaper. Here we have a man who took these items from his surroundings and created artwork about his surroundings with them. It's pretty cool. Romare Bearden was born in Charlotte, North Carolina in 1911. His family moved to New York in 1914 as part of the Great Migration, and his intimate experience with the legacy of race in the United States helped define his perspective throughout his life. Bearden's career covered many styles and mediums, all self-taught, but it is collage work that we remember him for today. These moving, poignant pieces pushed the form to new uses, and his work arrived alongside the widespread use of glossy paper and magazines. And it was Bearden who helped define how this new common material could be put to use in fine art. Influenced by Mexican muralists like Diego Rivera, Bearden included socially conscious themes in his artwork. His early pieces often depicted scenes from the American South, highlighting not only racial injustice, but also the deep reservoir of strength in communities of color. As the civil rights movement gained more momentum, Bearden pushed further into these political themes. In 1964, he presented his first series of collage work titled Projections. After that point, his collages became the center of his work. By the time he died in 1988, he was considered a leading collage artist. Let's take a closer look at a few of his pieces right now. Young Students, 1964. This early collage by Bearden shows lots of energy in the street. Faces made up of multiple images seem to nod to his past as a cubist painter. The scene is absolutely filled with little negative space, bustling with all the energy of young black people learning and becoming. Carolina Shout, 1974. Here, the skills Bearden honed as a painter are applied to collage. The use of bright color and somewhat abstracted human forms create a lively scene of togetherness. The ability to create collage that is both aesthetically daring and deeply human are trademarks of Bearden's style. The Block. I love this one. This extensive work shows the culmination of Bearden's experiences in Harlem. It is a sprawling epic of a collage containing masterful storytelling with scenes within scenes. Okay, let's take a look at our collage kit. This kit is 5 pages. 3 of them are full of different subject matter. We got lots of different people. We have pieces of buildings. We have trains, guitars, halos. Those are symbols that you'll often find in his work. So let's put these off to the side for a moment. In this kit, I also included 2 backgrounds. So you don't need to cut these at all. I recommend not cutting them. I chose this background because it reminded me of Young Students, And then I created this background because it reminded me of the block. So this is potentially blue sky, and this is ground or pavement. Now, one of the cool things about Romare Bearden's work is that he also constructed his own objects using colored pieces of paper. Another really cool thing about Romare Bearden's work is that he wouldn't just use normal pictures of people. He would photo montage them. He would cut different pieces out and almost assemble figures from multiple pieces. So I think for my first collage, I'm going to make a scene like the block. All you're going to need is a pair of scissors and a glue stick. One quick tip, if you're going to cut out a piece, take a whole chunk of the paper off. Don't try to wrestle the whole piece of paper when you're cutting something out. Don't glue anything until you're done with your composition. Composition is basically a fancy word for arranging things on the paper. So don't fully commit, just put some things together and we'll glue when we're done. I haven't used this kit yet, so I'm having fun seeing what's possible here. Let's make a little red building. I'm getting a little looser in this one too. I don't feel the need to be like super careful when I'm cutting these. I feel like faster cuts in this case are maybe a little bit more expressive. Cool. Now I have like a city skyline. Well, maybe not a skyline. I have a street scene here. Suppose there's elevated trains, right? I could do one in the air. I initially put this brown piece in here so we can hand cut out people's faces or hands for some of that more like drawing with scissors kind of Matisse type shapes. Always saving negative space. You could use that too. Just like in the block, I'm going to try to make kind of like scenes within scenes here. Okay, I'm happy with my composition. In this one, I have a street scene, kind of like the block. And this one, I went a different direction from young students. I started to go towards more of the metaphorical, almost mythological collages that Romare Bearden has created. So now I'm ready to glue. Now, basically, when you glue a collage, you want to build it like a cake. You want to start at the bottom and move towards the top. This might require you to move some things around. If you want to, you can take a little snapshot with your phone so you kind of lock it in how you want it to look, and then you could use this as a reference. You can take a scrap sheet of your collage kit or the back piece that you're not using and use that as a placemat so you're not getting glue on your finished collage. Now, when you need to glue very small things like these little windows and pigeons and stuff like that, I almost recommend that you kind of build a unit, a piece together, and I always pick up really small items like this and place them on the tip of my glue stick. I could probably do a lot more on this collage, but for the sake of keeping this video brief, I'm just going to end it here. You know what? I forgot to glue my train. I'm just going to do it right down here. Okay, there you have it. 2 quick Romare Bearden collages. Not bad. That about does it for today. I hope you learned a little bit about Romare Bearden, and I hope this inspired you to start learning how to make your own collages.